So now we're at a bridge. It's called Sligachan Bridge. Now, I was really excited to come here because there's a really nice story I'm going to tell you. But then I read more, and there's something I'm going to have to do which I really do not want to do at 9 o'clock in the morning. But we'll get on to that. Anyway, this is the bridge, and it's got enchanted waters, apparently. Now, here's a little story for you. Sit down, get comfortable, and I'll tell you a story. There was a woman warrior on the Isle of Skye, and she was big and hard and a bit rough. Yeah, no one had messed with her. She was the hardest woman in Scotland. A man from Ireland heard about her. He says, "Oh, she thinks she's harder than me, does she?" So he came over here looking for her. He says, "I'm going to have a go. I'm going to knock her off a perch. I'm the king of the castle," type thing. Now, he shouldn't have been fighting a girl anyway. That's just my opinion. But he did. He came over and he found this little girl, and it was this big woman's daughter. And he said to the little girl, he said, "Go get your mum, I want to fight." So the little girl, she's not happy, she don't want her to fight this man. But she goes and gets her mum because she's scared of the man. Mummy comes, and Mummy says, "Who's this man who wants a fight with me?" And the Irish man says, "That'd be me." "Come on then." She says, "Come on then." He says, "Come on then." And then she says, "Come on then." And then he says, "Come on." And eventually they stop saying, "Come on then," and they have a fight. Massive fight. They're having this huge brawl all over these lands. Now, the little girl, she's not happy. She's crying her eyes out. She's thinking, her mum's going to get beaten up here. She's not going to win this big Irish guy. No chance. So she comes running down to this very spot, crying her eyes out. You can imagine her, can't you? Just sat here. "Oh, my mummy's gonna get hurt. My mummy's gonna get hurt." And then something special happened. From the waters came some fairies. Fairies came up to her. They said, "Hey, little girl, cut it out. There's no need to cry. Wash your face, and we'll tell you what you have to do." So the little girl washes her face, gets all the tears off her face, and the fairies tell her what to do. So the little girl goes running home. On the way, she collects some nuts and some herbs. She goes home to the house and she starts cooking the nuts and herbs, and it's making off a beautiful aroma, lovely aroma. And she gets the rug off the floor and she wafts the smell towards where her mummy and this big Irish man are having a fight. And they're having this fight, and they can smell these nuts and herbs. They'd been fighting for hours. They're tired and they're hungry. And the Irishman says, "You are an hard woman, you aren't you? But can we just have a break? Come on, let's have a break. I need a little rest. I can smell some nuts and herbs. Let's go find out where the smell's coming from and just have something to eat, yeah?" And the Scottish woman says, Go on then. And they follow the smell. She says, "You won't believe this. This is my house. The smell's coming from my house. It must be my daughter. She must be doing some cooking. Why don't you come in and have some nuts and herbs with us?" So they go down, sit at the table, get talking, and end up being friends. So the fight is over. That's the end. And they're all very, 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 very happy. Now, there is a legend associated with the water. Because of this tale, it's supposed to be enchanted water. It gives you eternal beauty. Now, firstly, to get beauty, you just have to splash your face in this water. That gets you the beauty. I'm going to have a word with Julie, see if we can sort something out with her face before we go. But to get eternal beauty, you've got to do a little ritual, which I'm going to have to do for you now, and I really don't want to do it. So I'll read it to you just how I'm reading it here. To get eternal beauty, what you have to do is dip your face in the water, not bring the water up to your face. So put your head under the water, keep it there for 7 seconds, bring your head back up and let it dry naturally. Don't dry it with a towel or anything. It is 8:29 in the morning. It's not a warm day. That is going to be freezing. I don't want to do this, but we all know I'm going to do it because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to hand you over to the cameraman or lady, and I'm just going to get this out of the way. Because I want to stay. I'm not going to do the splash. I don't need the beauty. I've already got it. I just need to get the eternal beauty. So just to keep this beauty forever and ever and ever, eternity, 7 seconds. I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this. I'm going to get wet. 7 seconds, come on. Oh. See? I don't think I can do it. Now I'm going to let that dry naturally, but as you can already tell, the eternally beauty is just sticking all over my face. Now, as I mentioned earlier, well, Julie and Martin weren't around. We're going to sort Julie out now with her little ritual.
You want another dunk?
No, it's not for eternal beauty. We're just going to try and get you a little bit of beauty. You just put a splash. You just splash up to get the beauty in the first place. So if you come over here, we'll give you a bit of beauty. Come on. No, you come here. That's it. Just bend your head down. No, don't be pushing me in. There you go. You look better already. Don't you think she looks lovely now? Bit of beauty. Won't do her any harm. Okay, it didn't work, but it was worth a try, wasn't it? Just a very quick one as we're driving past people, because this is one of the most famous parts of Skye. The Old Man of Store. It's a big, sticky up, pointy piece of rock. Beautiful picture of it today, apart from the telegraph poles in the way there, but it's beautiful. Legend has it, there's a few legends, most of them are rubbish. The true one is that there's a big giant buried there, and he was so big they couldn't get him all underground. And what you see there is his thumb sticking up. True story. Yeah, that would make a very nice picture if it wasn't for them telephone lines, but never mind, you can't have everything. So here we are at Kilt Rock. It's called Kilt Rock because apparently it looks like a kilt, but I'm not seeing it. I'm guessing it's meaning the creases or the plates or whatever they call them on a kilt as it's going down. But all them columns are like hexagonal shaped. I'll show you a picture now from Ireland, okay? It's one of the most stunning pictures, stunning places which I really wanted to visit. I actually thought it was in Scotland, but it's not, it's in Ireland. It's called the Giant's Causeway. So there's a legend, okay, Giant's Causeway. What happened is you had this really big, hard, Scottish, massive giant, yeah? And he'd shout every day saying, look at me, I'm the hardest man in the world, do you want to have a go? And over in Ireland, there was another giant, and he could hear him shouting all the time, saying how big and hard he was. And it was getting on his nerves because he thought he was the hardest person, yeah? So what he did is he grabbed these rocks and moulded them into like hexagonal shaped spears, and he threw them into the sea. He threw thousands of them over to make a big causeway, the Giant's Causeway, so that he could get over to Scotland and have a fight with this Scottish guy, put him in his place with the Scottish giant. Now, this Irish giant, what was his name, Martin? Finn McCool. What was the Scottish giant called?
Ben and Donna.
Ben and Donna. We'll just call it the Scottish giant and the Irish giant, because you'll get confused. So the giant from Ireland comes over, saying, "Oi, Scottish giant, where are you? Come on, I want to have a go, I want a piece of you." and the Scottish giant comes out from behind the hills, and he's absolutely massive. Finn, the Irish giant, he starts to dribble down his leg. He's terrified. He turns around and he runs home, and the Scottish giant starts chasing him. He goes after him. He's run home as this Irish man. He goes home to his wife. He says, "Hey, I've just started a fight over there in Scotland with that giant, and he's massive. He's massive. I need somewhere to hide." She says, "You can't hide. You're a giant." She says, "Just leave it to me, yeah? You go to bed and put these clothes on." So he puts these baby clothes on and a big dummy in and lies in bed. Now, the Scottish giant comes over and he says, he knocks on the door. He says, "Hey, where's that Irish giant? I want to beat him up." She says, "Oh, he's not in at the moment. He's gone out. Do you want to come and wait for him?" So he says, "Yeah, if you don't mind." So he goes in the house and he's waiting and he's just having a look around. And she says, "Just be quiet though, because the baby's asleep, as you can see." And he looks at the baby. The baby is massive. The biggest baby he's ever seen. And he thinks, well, if that's the size of the baby, just think how big his daddy's going to be. I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. So he comes running back to Scotland, and the Irish giant lives, basically. That's the end of the tale. But that's the Giant's Causeway. And that's the end of it here at Isle of Skye. Pretty cool. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow we're going hunting for some dinosaur footprints. Will we find them? You'll have to tune in to find out. Thanks for joining. Please keep your donations coming in at diggingthecoast.com. In the meantime, from Digging the Coast 365, good night.